There are times we receive unsolicited advice, and maybe we might even want to repel that advice. But if you can look at the world dispassionately and you can understand that people are going to give you constructive criticism based on their views, how they feel, and I mean, if it's coming from someone who you admire, who is absolutely brilliant, then you should consider that unsolicited advice because maybe they're in a mindset that will allow you to triumph into a new era of existence. And so when you can move past the predispositions that are a byproduct of your conditioning in the past, and you're able to find your leverage by also looking outward. And yes, it's very important to consolidate all the information from your external and really just understand what is going to serve you as well. And there might be times where you can complete everything that you have been given to do, and then there might be times where you just have to move past it and continue to try. And so it's a palpable effort. You know that it's something tangible. You can see this growth taking place, but sometimes growth takes time. And so when you enter into new environments where maybe there are certain people where you're not able to fully express yourself, and especially in group environments, because there are times where you either are feeling like you don't want to embarrass yourself, or maybe you don't want to intimidate other people, and you are simply trying to pair with others and build some friendships. And so really just acting in a way where you are not being so demanding in the beginning, which of course you wouldn't want the people above you, maybe your mentors, not to be demanding, because if they are demanding, that entails your growth. And so yes, you want those people to really put this kind of pressure on you, because although it's hard to move through pressure, but if there's no pressure, there are no diamonds. Now, when it comes to group settings that you're trying to build relationships, sometimes it's important to really find your leverage in a sense that you are moving more slowly and you are compensating for the various personalities that are within the group. And so, you're going to, out of formality, provide space to show people who they are and be the mirror that reflects their beauty. Because when you are really just trying to show off and put yourself out there in a way that maybe you feel that you're expressing yourself authentically, but if you are also causing some sort of discomfort within the culture and within the people around you, then you need to really take it a notch down. And of course, you don't want to dim your light, but I'm just saying that, you phase things in and you phase things out. And so when you are able to find the sublime in daily living, whether that be through catering to others and their preferences, and then slowly building yourself to reveal your authentic nature, or whether you're just, basking in the luck of life and understanding that there's going to be serendipity everywhere you go. Something beautiful is going to happen, and there's always that connection. And so even when you can look at that and connect the dots, for example, allow me to elaborate. Yesterday was something in my culture called Ruz e Nur, meaning day of light. And it's the first time our spiritual leader was able to go to Tajikistan and essentially present the light of God through the vessel of himself. And so basically, because of the political climate in Tajikistan, they were not for 100 years able to even keep a photo of what is considered nur or light or God or the vessel of God. And so really there's so many ways to interpret this. You can take things figuratively as well, but at the same time, having this group of people who they have such blind faith. And so for a whole generation and another generation, they're able to hold on to that faith and really just practice whatever it is they feel is going to allow them to transcend and become within the light. And then one day, yesterday, is the day that finally the light arrives. And so really having that kind of patience and deliberate faith, deliberate blind faith that things are going to work out, and really displacing any notion that if you are not instantly gratified in the moment, then it's okay, because there are going to be places where you have to compensate for certain things, and you have to be a little bit of a pragmatist as well. There are ways to moving in silence, and understanding that when you anchor yourself from the foundation and build upon that, whether you have the skills or not, even when you're learning, for example, when a person learns, especially say for example music or opera, you have to learn the notes before you can embellish. And so when a person is anchoring themselves to that foundation and then slowly adding on their skill set, because maybe they started in one end of the circle, which is unusual, and so they've deviated from the norms of society. And so when you're able to really just focus on making sure you have those foundational skills, whether that be with building friends or working on your soft skills, or even just maintaining your mindset that you are royalty, that you are something else, that you are an anomaly, an intrepid outlier that is going to add your fierceness as the spice of life once you're able to establish the relationships and really appreciate others and show that you are not there to harm or be in competition, but really just to empower and grow together. And so really being able to put yourself in that mindset and allowing others to feel that, especially in a world that is saturated with the idea that women should be competing with women or men should be dispassionate. And so, these are preconceived notions that society has embedded within movies, within simple words that you see while you're walking by on a billboard. These are subconscious images. And so being able to reframe and push past these kinds of barriers is going to allow you to really thrive. And although it takes time to pay the price for entry, when you're able to understand the counterparts that you are interacting with, and although maybe that might entail some sort of artificial encounters in the beginning, and maybe they're not so artificial because maybe you just have not truly revealed yourself. And so as you build trust, as you build a relationship, and you allow people to enter within the cracks, then you're able to really piece together the remnants of a fragmentation that is not only within yourself, but within others. And so when you can see that, oh, I have this deficiency that you have a surplus of, and so there's a vice versa as well. Here is how we can help each other be a team and grow. Because yes, there is always going to be a pecking order within society, and that is something that is within the micro expressions. And so maybe when a person holds themselves in a certain way and, allows them to elevate through the elevation of their eyes, and just understanding how this sort of nuance within body language creates a pecking order. And it's nothing to be conceited about, because it's a matter of how much self-worth do you have, how much love for yourself do you have, because it's a matter of understanding who you are as a person. And so when you give yourself these little love songs and you do the little things by presenting yourself with roses or whatever trivial things that are significant to you, then you start to build this electric energy. And that compounds and yields a byproduct of immense results. And so, even just the small details, they're so important. Pay attention to the details. This is where success lies. And so, yes, it is the little actions that lead to tremendous results. And when you're able to dissect what kinds of actions are going to do that for you, maybe through the constructive criticism of others who you trust or who you're building trust with, and maybe you might even have a flagrant disregard for what they're telling you, because it's something that others might find conspicuously offensive. It's something that is standing out like a sore thumb, and others might see it, but for you might be feeling insecure. But at the same time, when you're not insecure about it and you understand that internally you are beautiful, regardless of what kind of adornments you decide to put on your face, your hair, your body, and you really just can move past all this superficial nature, the superficial nature of society, which is very important as well, because if you don't move through these formalities, especially with a sense of urgency, then society is judging you by the first 3 seconds. And so you have to play the game, but at the same time understanding that you are beautiful as you are. And so really just being able to allocate your resources properly and efficiently, because having this sense of urgency allows you to build success in a way that others might not. We live in a society where many people, they're lazy. They're not accomplishing their goals. They want something, but they're choosing not to have it by not taking the actions that are going to get them to the results. And so every single day you have choices. You can choose to accept constructive criticism and really just feel like it is the serendipity of life that is throwing this path for you, this rope for you that allows you to emerge out of the cocoon as a butterfly and really express your true nature. And so when you're able to generate this kind of mindset, and yes, you're moving into uncharted territories. This is an unprecedented situation because you don't know who to trust. You don't know people's intentions. And of course, you would hope that the people you are moving forward with are not going to be they're going to be there to empower you and help build you, because it's going to be a win-win situation. And when you have been in past situations where people have disparaged you, and this has made you repel the idea of trust, because now you are in this defensive nature and your thorns come out and you start to act in these ways where you are, trying to build the sanctuary, the sanctuary of trust within yourself, and this protective mechanism that allows you to disqualify others from really entering into the cracks within you. And so being able to dismantle these pre-existing notions within your mind and contrive this reality by really just telling yourself every single day that this person is here to help me. This person is someone who I can trust. This person is someone who I want to build with, and really just partner in a sense that, you are working and just as brothers and sisters of society. And so, even within the culture that I come from, we have to, there's this quote by the Aga Khan, our spiritual leader: the replacement of fear by hope is probably the single most powerful trampoline of progress. And so when you can allow yourself to trust and build that hope, build the muscle of hope within you, and then you're creating self-fulfilling prophecies for others to fulfill. And maybe in the past, you're so used to others having that self-fulfilling prophecy for you that puts you in a place that you're not really able to think of others acting in favorable ways for you, and so you have to be reactive, or you have to have those thorns engaged, ready to really just push people away from you. And so being able to oscillate your mind to the sense of hope and having the kamikaze commitment to do so will negate any negativity of your past and allow you to move into an era where you are serving and nurturing not only yourself but everyone around you. And that is how you grow, and that is how you become a leader who can pick people up and really just spread your wings and have others fly with you. And so as you recalibrate your mind to contrive through the subtle design of positivity and letting go of the nefarious acts that others have put upon you, and prompting yourself, whether that be verbally through your internal dialogue or physically through adjusting your posture, or taking care of yourself in an external manner. And so every small detail, it matters. So don't be hard on yourself. Understand that it's going to be a process. It's a lot to take in, and the sheer amount of stimuli coming at you is being absorbed. And now, because it's inside of you, you're going to have the tools to manifest whatever you want. And so yes, sometimes you feel like you're a little bit all over the map and your actions are stipulating embarrassing results that were unintentional. And, especially say, for example, you're working within your family and you create these faux pas that were unintentional because there were just so many layers stacked on layers, and you hadn't been able to see them as they were happening because maybe you are more inclined to think of things in a pure manner. You see things with the elegance of innocence, but at the same time you understand the dichotomy of both angles. And so being able to really keep this simplicity, this pureness within your heart, but at the same time catering to others. And this takes practice, being able to speak in different languages that others might be they might have more mastery in. And so as you learn to build these muscles and you're around people, family, mentors, friends who are able to provide you the space to be able to grow into these muscles, then you are going to be an unstoppable being. You are a formidable force and nothing can stop you. And so continue to hold on to that hope. Everything is going to work out. The special days are coming. The light of life is being showered upon you, even when you make the biggest mistakes and that you seem like you're only focused on what is not working. But when you can orient yourself to the light of the day, then you are going to fulfill the magic. So I will leave you with that. Lots of love and good vibes. Peace.